Hi, everyone. This is Natalie Tousley, and today is day 10 of the 21 days of prayer and fasting. Today's scripture reading is from a letter Paul wrote to Timothy, and it can be found in 2 Timothy 3:16 through 17. It reads, "All scripture is inspired by God and useful to teach us what is true and to make us realize what is wrong in our lives. It corrects us when we are wrong, and it teaches us to do what is right. God uses it to prepare and equip his people to do every good work." Now, today's verse is pretty self-explanatory, but there are some valuable insights listed within it for us to ponder. First, Paul says that Scripture is inspired by God, and that other translations say that Scripture is God-breathed, and I tend to like those particular translations because of the image it brings to my mind. When I think of God-breathed, I think of Adam in the garden, and how God formed him there, and he placed him there. But Adam didn't really have a purpose until God breathed life into him. And so when Paul says that all scripture is inspired by God, he essentially is telling us that the entire Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, is alive and active. And with that life, it has a purpose. And being the teacher that Paul was, he lists those purposes within the verses. Paul writes that scripture shows us what is true. It exposes all of the wrong in our lives. It corrects us when we are wrong, and scripture trains us to think, act, and live into the purpose that God intended for us from the very beginning. And all of that is in one verse. Paul goes on to explain that through God's inspired word, we are being equipped with the tools necessary to complete the tasks here on earth that God has for us. Every good work is the description that Paul gives those tasks at the end of verse 17. Crossroads, God has given us all of the answers to all of life's questions, and it's bound up and in our possession. God has given us every single weapon we will ever need to fulfill our purpose here on earth, and it is bound up and in our possession. So let's take some time today to thank him for that and to begin to use this God-inspired book for all that it is worth.